Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video titled 3 American Myths I Don't Believe Anymore After Living in Europe. And you guys know I've been living in Europe for quite some time right now. So these videos are very relatable to me because, well, they should have the same experience that I'm having. I should have the same experience, right? Because we're in the same category. So without further ado, we're going to check out this video right now. A link for the original video will be in the description, so you guys can go over there and show some love to the channel. And you can watch the video as well over there and show some support. But either ways, man, without further ado, let's go right into this video and check out what are the 3 myths that this woman does not believe anymore after living in Europe.
The 3 American myths that I don't believe in anymore. Because I live in Europe now. One of them might completely change how you see daily life in the US. I moved to Spain about 2 years ago. Now I realize that some of the things that we grew up believing in are unique to life in America. They're not universal truths. I'm going to share how Europe's lifestyle, daily habits, and social systems have changed my perspective. I want to share with you why the American way isn't the only way, and how embracing European habits helped reduce my anxiety and my blood pressure. Also, I'll share how you can incorporate some of these ideas into your own life, no matter where you live. If you're curious about living abroad or just want to bring a little more balance into your life, like this video. I was a store leader at Tesla. I worked hard. I made good...
Who? Did you just say Tesla? You were working with Elon? What?
Like this video. I was a store leader at Tesla. I worked hard. I made good money, and I had great health care. Being busy...
Damn. That is freaking amazing. Wow. Okay.
It wasn't an art, it was survival. I felt successful. I paid off my credit cards each month. I owned a car that I loved driving, and I was able to buy a vacation home in Spain. My weekends, they did blur into...
God. I'm getting called broken all kinds of language right now, boy. That's crazy. Hey, what? A vacation home in Spain? Oh my gosh. Whew, that is amazing. Like, I cannot stress how, amazing that is, because, like, remember, like, the American dream is to, well, everybody's American dream is different, right? But the base thing is to have a home, family, you have a nice car outside. That's the base thing, right? And to have that happen is amazing, but the circumstance of getting it is usually really, really tough for most people, because I think she's part of the privileged crew. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of Americans are not going to be able to buy a house in Spain, for crying out loud.
Into the weekdays, and I always ate breakfast and lunch at my work desk. Every evening kind of dissolved into exhaustion, and the pace was relentless. I worked 70, 80-hour work weeks. This life, it was invigorating. I was living the American dream. And then 2 years ago, I was kicked off the treadmill. After years of watching my colleagues get laid off one by one, it was finally my turn. Elon.
But no, this is so real, because, having a job in the United States is not like having a job in Europe. Like, I'm telling you this, like, the fear of losing your job is one of the realest things that you will ever have. Like, it's so real, because, like, you're not really valued. The better person is going to have your job by tomorrow. They're not going to wait for you to improve. They're just going to be like, oh, you cannot do this? Okay, get out. It's that simple. So it's a little bit hostile in my humble opinion, but that's the American way.
Loves to keep his operations laid off one by one. It was finally my turn. Elon loves to keep his operations ultra lean. If you're deemed not critical, you go. So I went to Spain. I was still wound up. I brought my habits, my mindset, and my myths with me. I'd arrive ready to do things, but the Spanish, they don't rush. The locals stroll, they don't walk. Why weren't they rushing? Didn't they have deadlines to meet? My heart told me to slow down, but the American in me wouldn't allow it. And then one day it just clicked. Slowing down, it wasn't easy. My first lunch with some Spanish friends, it really tested me. It was almost 3 hours long. The food arrived slowly. The conversation was slow as well. And then when dessert came, that wasn't the end. There was more conversation, and it was Sunday, so our lunch continued with a stroll through town. And once we were finally done, I was amazed because for the first time in many years, I felt full. Spain's pace of life insists that you take a rest. I learned to siesta. My days start early and they end late, and the midday break allows me to recharge. It makes it possible for me to be more productive. The myth of busyness equals value, it crumbled. My American lens saw time as something to fill, but Spain taught me that it's something to appreciate. It taught me that leisure, it wasn't laziness, it's living. Back in the US, I believe that high blood pressure and
It's not laziness, it's living. Damn. That's real life, man. That's real life. Like, I don't hate watching these videos, but they often put me in a state of chills. It's like it's like you just feel like that rush going through your body, because it's like I have the opportunity to experience what she's talking about, and it hits me differently. It's like I'm here in this place. Like, it's crazy. Like, nothing that she's saying is false. It is the truth, right? You gotta go extremely hard in the United States to survive. It's just the truth, right? And the lunch thing that she mentioned, like 3 hours, like my brain would be like, oh my gosh, no, that's crazy. No, 3 hours, that's a lot of time wasted, right? But the reality is, like, we weren't like that's, I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but that's slavery. If you're just working, and to eat for like 3 hours, it's a crime. You know what I mean? Because it's like, go to sleep, wake up, work, while you're working, stuff your freaking face. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
and constant anxiety were the price of success. But living in Spain taught me they were simply the cost of not living. By slowing down, I discovered energy I hadn't felt in years. The people around me didn't work to live. Instead, they lived while they worked. You might be thinking that you could never live like this. It's a choice. Start with one thing: longer lunches, maybe an afternoon nap or a slow walk after dinner. You don't need a new country. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Looking back, I can't believe I used to have dinner at 6 p.m. Oh, and tip 20% minimum on meals. Tipping culture in general in the States is out of control, and I long accepted it as normal. But living in Europe has taught me that they aren't universal truths. They're cultural choices. Try and make a dinner reservation here. Try and make a dinner reservation before 8 p.m. If the restaurant is actually open, you're going to be dining alone. As the restaurant begins to fill, you're going to see the other patrons enjoying themselves, and they'll stay until as late as midnight. Meals here are really a way to connect. The people linger, they talk, and when it's time to pay, there's no need to stress over your third grade math. There isn't that hidden tax. Gratuities are a token of gratitude. The same can be said about healthcare and education, right? Hospital visits don't come with anxiety about the costs. Education isn't a death sentence. It's a stepping stone, and your freedom from gun violence is protected. I believed in a system that normalized stress, inequality, and fear, but there's an alternative. Society can prioritize people over profit. These aren't utopian ideals, they're choices. And adopting a European lens doesn't mean dismantling your life. Start small. You can question what you've accepted as normal. Living in Spain showed me that normal is flexible. Change starts with a shift in perspective. In the US, independence is a virtue. From the Declaration of Independence to the American Dream, we celebrate self-reliance. I took pride in doing things on my own. Yet, moving to Spain revealed the shadow side of that independence. It's isolation. Spaniards don't seem independent by American standards. They lean on family, friends, their trusted community. At first, I saw it as needy, and then I noticed something. They're happier. There are often festivals and celebrations in Spain. There's music and there's laughter, and no one's checking their phones. Strangers and friends, they're mingling and enjoying the atmosphere together. In the US, I rarely knew my neighbors' names. Here, I'm an
Yeah, that's actually so real. Like people don't really get it. Like in the US, in America, pretty much, if you have a neighbor, right, you'll say, hey, whatever, whatever, and that's about it, right? It's not like you're going over there trying to eat food, right? It's not like that, right? In some communities, it's more like that because technically, you know, I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but poor areas like where it's like considered ghetto in the United States, it's more brotherly, right? So people, communicate a lot more in those areas. But once you reach mid to higher class in the United States, yeah, you're not going to really know a lot of the people in your community. And that's a fact because they're just not going to talk to you. And it's just, it's really exclusive, honestly.
expat, and I'm a part of the community. Here, I learned that relying on others isn't weakness, it's humanity. Neighbors' names. Here, I'm an expat, and I'm a part of the community. Here, I learned that relying on others isn't weakness, it's humanity. Freedom isn't isolation, it's connection. Living in Spain reminded me that we thrive together. Independence isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about having the freedom to choose interdependence. You can experience this too. You can start by building a bridge with a neighbor or saying hello to a stranger, but don't be creepy. Independence is powerful, but connection is transformative. My American life has changed since moving to Europe.
I can't lie, the transformative. Connection is transformative. I think that's what she said. It is not a lie. Like, if you know someone, that can change your life entirely. But trying to do it by yourself, you're stuck for a minute.
Living in Spain has showed me alternatives to the lifestyle I was accustomed to. The pace of life here healed my anxiety. The societal norms here redefined my priority. And the connections here showed me what it means to truly belong.
Very good video. Anything left? Hold on. No? Yeah, very good video. It's just the truth. It was a very good video, and I really appreciate this video a lot because individuality is something that you will find all across the United States. Everybody just wants to get things done by themselves so they can say, I did it. It's not a we did it situation. I think in Europe, I don't know, life in Europe is just weird. I don't want to sound mean or cruel, but life in Europe is actually weird. It's just weird compared to life in the United States. Is it better? Honestly, I would say that. I genuinely think so, because before, knowing about Europe and so on and so forth, being here, I was faced in a situation where it was either scholarships or what's that called again? Tuition, right? And you got to pay the damn tuition, right? So it was only those two options that you had, or you had rich families, but we're not going to talk about the rich people right now, right? It's either that tuition that you had to pay out your pocket, or you had to get a scholarship, right? And those are the only two options you had in the United States. You don't need that in Europe. That alone, makes life in Europe 10 times better than the US, because you're able to actually go to school and actually get that degree that you want. You can be who you truly want to be. So if you want to be a doctor, you just need to put in the hard work, and the process is there for you. You just follow the lines, right? So raising a child, oh my gosh, if I was ever a dad in Europe, I'd be so more relaxed compared to the United States. And that's not a knock on the United States. I will always and forever love the United States very, very much. Always going to be in my heart forever. However, the truth is just the truth. Life in Europe is definitely more humanitarian, if that makes sense. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below. I'm out of here. Peace.